Welcome to another OU Insider Under the Visor Sooners postgame podcast powered by Riverwind Casino. Parker Thune, my name is Brandon Drumm. 23-6.
That was way too enthusiastic of an opener.
Well, I was about to get just pissed off, but we can go with it. That crap sucked.
You sound emphatic.
I'm emphatically pissed.
Inspired. I don't know that.
I'm inspired to go ham on everybody and anybody over this stupid game that we call a Red River shootout.
As you should be.
Yeah,
it was a terrible football game. Terrible football game. Terrible performance from Oklahoma. The diametric opposite of everything they needed to do and needed to accomplish in this game. I mean, it's one of those where, and again, we mentioned this in the post-game rapid reaction. It's one of those where you're just kind of at a loss. And that's been the case 3 of the past 4 years during the Brent Venables era that we have sat here at the Cotton Bowl in the aftermath of OU Texas. But you understood why in 2022. You understood why they got smoked.
Mm-hmm.
You understood why they got smoked last year. Brandon, there are no excuses to be had for this performance today. And if you want to cast doubt upon the physical health of John Mateer's thumb, I get it. I understand. That'll be the first thing that everybody points to, no doubt. But John Mateer insisted after the game that his thumb was okay.
Yeah.
It was fully healed. It did not affect him. Whether it was the thumb or not, he was inaccurate today. He played his worst game as a Sooner, maybe the worst game of his college football career, all things considered. And that's kind of where it started for Oklahoma. That's certainly not where it ended, because everything was bad today. Everything was bad.
I guess hindsight's 2020. Okay. So.
Oh, we already going here?
Looking back. Yeah, we're going there. Looking back. Yeah, he says he's okay. If he was okay, why is he not throwing in deep passes? John Mateer has lived off throwing the deep pass this year, taking shots down the field. You could tell he had, I believe it was Berkshire Satania down right here, heading towards the press box, down the sideline open. He's rolling out, and instead of throwing it, he hesitates, waits till the defender comes up to him, then jukes him, and then takes off running. But they were behind the corner. There was no safety over the top. You could tell he wasn't comfortable. The weird part is in warmups, he looked good throwing the deep pass, but obviously he's not being rushed. You know, I think there was a mental aspect to it all that at the end of the day, all the work that he had to put in to get back to play, I think took away from, and he says he watched film and he did all that. You cannot be watching film, doing rehab, and everything that you've got to do to be able to come back and play and be optimal, to come back as quickly as he did. I think this was rushed, and I understand why it was rushed. I think you understand. I think we all understand why it was rushed. But hindsight being what it is and being 2020, if you're going to lose like this and you're going to have a bunch of turnovers, why not give the youngster a chance? I understand the happy feet that everybody so-called says that he had last week.
Heck, John Mateer had some happy feet
today. He
had
a lot of happy feet today. And again, that's the mental thing I'm talking about. I felt like it was mental all day long. It was just bad all the way around. That first drive looked really smooth. And then when it stopped,
really smooth.
When it stopped, though, it stopped. It went from boom and then just like stopped. And they never got it back. Never got it back.
We should probably get our bills paid, folks. The OU Insider Under the Visor postgame podcast is brought to you by Riverwind Casino. It's been the OKC area's premier gaming destination for nearly 2 decades now, almost 3,000 electronic games, table games, bars, and dining options, plus the best live music in the metro. It's no surprise that Riverwind is always a good time. Also a nod to our friends at Jana King, the greatest team to ever clean, and a proud partner of OU Athletics, delivering spotless results from stadiums to any size business across the country. Check out which of their solutions is best for you. or your business by going to janaking.com. And then finally, folks, let me introduce you. Maybe you'll be able to hear the zipper here. I'm going to unzip my backpack and show you my Ridge wallet because, oh, look at that. Brandon got the Ridge charging bank.
It's awesome.
The Ridge wallet, folks, is the last wallet you'll ever need to buy. Look at this thing. Slim, modern, efficient, not bulky in your pocket like the old school wallet that so many of us own.
It's sciatic killers.
RFID blocking technology. Look, if you use code INSIDER, when you buy online from Ridge, you're going to get 10% off. Use our code INSIDER. They're going to ask you after your purchase where you heard about Ridge. You're going to let them know that Brandon and Parker from OU Insider sent you. But, folks, once again, look at this. Virtually indestructible, incredibly low maintenance. It holds up to 12 cards as well as cash. And I say, look, a lot of people are listening right now on the podcast medium and not on the YouTube side. They have no idea what I'm holding up on the YouTube video. But suffice it to say, folks, this is a really nice wallet and a wallet that will last you a long, long time. In fact, it comes with a lifetime warranty from Ridge. So grab you one. That's that. Let's get back to the game. The run game is horrific.
I was just looking at those numbers.
The run game, like Oklahoma can't run the football. I don't know how Oklahoma is going to be able to run the football the rest of the way because you're playing SEC ball and everybody's got a good defensive front. Everybody's got the hog mollies up front in the defensive trenches. And Torrey Blaylock's the only back in that Oklahoma backfield that's done a dang thing that you can get excited about. And good on Torrey Blaylock. Right, and he was able to find something today when nobody else was. He wasn't half bad today. He hadn't been half bad all season.
Unfortunately, he's only 33 yards total.
It's time to write the epitaph on Jaden Ott. That experiment's a failure. I don't know what else can be said. He's not. I mean, forget a game changer, Brandon. We know he's not a game changer, but. I mean, it's glaringly obvious he's not a game changer. I don't even know that he's a rotational guy in this backfield. Has he shown enough to make you feel like he deserves to take snaps over Javonte Barnes or over Xavier Robinson? Javonte Barnes, we haven't seen him on the field in 2 weeks. He hasn't played the last 2 games.
Yeah. I don't know that the staff really has. They have confidence in Javonte Barnes as a pass blocker. They just don't have confidence, it seems, as a whole. I thought Xavier Robinson made some plays when he needed to today, but they didn't really give him a chance to get going either. They gave Torrey Blaylock a chance. They gave Jaden Ott a chance early on. He decided he didn't want to block on which would have been all he had to do. All he had to do was get in front of, I don't remember what linebacker. I want to say it was 0. Oh my God, I went blank on Texas 0, the stud linebacker. Anthony Hill. I think he was lead blocking Anthony Hill, which isn't really a recipe for success in the grand scheme of things. But all he had to do was get in front of Anthony Hill, right? The hole was massive. Burks is gone. He's gone, dude. Like, gone. There is nobody there. No. Olayed him, kind of like Kanik did last week on the reverse to Burks, ironically. Dude's got the worst luck on that crap. But yeah, the run game, it's either John Mateer, Torrey Blaylock, or it's just complete dog crap. And their run game is average at best right now, Parker. Average at best. This is the worst run game I've ever seen Oklahoma have. Remember last year, they could at least run the ball.
They could.
Yeah.
I would actually say they had more success running the ball
by
last year.
far. What?
And you know what today was, Brandon? Today was like watching the 2024 Oklahoma Sooners. It's exactly what it was like.
It was.
5-0 coming into this football game. The 2025 Oklahoma Sooners decided to treat us to the 2024 Oklahoma Sooners. In every way, that was like the hell that we endured every single week last season. I mean, that was all of those struggles encapsulated. The issue is you're 10 months removed from the conclusion of that campaign. There's no reason why we should still be seeing the 2024 Oklahoma Sooners, but we saw them today. All of the hallmarks were there. And man, defensively, I thought they actually played pretty well for the most part.
They can't tackle.
They got their teeth kicked in the third quarter. And that was just Brent Venables getting outcoached by Steve Sarkisian. Steve Sarkisian said, you know what? We're going to own this clock in the third quarter. Try and stop us. And they converted third down after third down, moved the ball down the field steadily, methodically, but with ease, Brandon. And Oklahoma wound up running 4 offensive plays in that third quarter. And it was very, very clear when that third quarter ended that Oklahoma was reeling and they were searching for an answer that ultimately did not present itself. And you had concerns at that point if they were going to be able to find anything offensively to be able to combat what Texas was able to establish in that third quarter. And then Ryan Niblett's 75-yard punt return was the nail in the coffin.
That was a nail in the coffin. Dude, Taylor Wine and Jaden Hardy got pushed so hard in the back, both of them. Like, Jaden Hardy went out of the screen. Right when he catches the ball, he stops and just goes out of the screen. And the ref just says, regardless, I don't think that you can't use that as an excuse. The OU played like crap, but that was really bad. But OU, I mean, people would probably say they deserve it since the Auburn stuff. Like, they were due a bad call or two, right? At the end of the day, here's where I think everything just kind of turned on its head. And I asked Brent Venables this question. At the end of the first half, you get the ball back, you got like 4:17 or 4:25, 26, something like that left to go in the game. You run your 4-minute offense to a freaking T. You're going down there. You kind of stall out around the 20-yard line. Okay, whatever. There's 35 seconds left. It is, I believe, second down. And they run a stupid pass play on the heels of letting the clock run down to 10 seconds.
I mean, that was the closest thing to flat-out coaching malpractice that we have seen from that staff in 2025. And, which, again, harkens back to 2024. We watched the 2024 Oklahoma Sooners today.
We did.
Poor coaching, turnovers, self-inflicted wounds, penalties, a complete inability to establish any sort of offensive rhythm. And ultimately, much as in 2024, the defense played well, but at a certain point, they were just on the field too much. And they had been on the field too much. And the fatigue started to set in.
Yes.
And they started to wear down. And Texas started to win at the point of attack. And at that point, it's game over. And it was game over.
Again, I'm going to go back to that. What the hell? Like, why, again, I said this on the rapid reaction, I'm going to say it again. You got 10 seconds left. You've already botched the clock as it is, but you're on you was around the 20-yard line, right? Like somewhere around there, right?
I believe it was the 24-yard line.
Okay. You can run 3 plays in 10 seconds.
Stretching it.
Well, right. It should take 4 seconds to do quick pass plays, right? So you should have been able to get a 10-yard out, which they were going to give you, which should have given you about 6 seconds, which should have allowed you a chance to make a throw into the end zone. If that didn't work, You have your field goal unit out on 4th down, right?
I hated the decision to run another play there. Quite frankly, because I mean,
I did too in the
you're-
time. I said that, but if you're gonna do it, why not do it that way?
what are the odds you're scoring a touchdown there?
You're
And
not.
that's what it's got to be, right? You have to score a touchdown or you have to get out of bounds.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna go for like, why do you go for the touchdown there?
I don't know.
I understand wanting to be aggressive. I understand wanting to take the fight to the opposition. I understand wanting to try to punch him in the mouth before the half. But man, I think at that point, the way that the defense is playing, the way that the chess match had kind of unfolded through 29 plus minutes of football, you kick the field goal there, you take the easy points, you get in the locker room.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, the risk you run is exactly what happened, which is John Mateer tries to go hero mode, makes a throw that probably should not have been made.
He was open. He just waited.
Definitely should not have been made.
Yeah, but he waited way too long to throw the ball.
That's got a safety camping over the top.
Yep.
I mean, that's you can't make that throw. You can't make that throw. Certainly not right there.
Nope.
And it kills all of your momentum going into the locker room.
But,
kills all of your momentum. At that point, Texas is thinking, all right, we get the ball to come out of the
correct.
half. It's a field goal game. Could have been 9-3
It was a
instead of
10-point swing like that. 10-point swing right there. That was a 10-point swing because they got the ball, they scored 7 points, boom, 10 points. 10-point swing.
And maybe they score anyway. Like maybe they do.
Maybe,
but a 10-9 game feels a lot different than a 10-6 game.
Thank you.
In the third quarter of a football game. There's not as much of a difference between 10-9 and 10-6.
Correct.
In the first quarter, but in the third quarter,
huge difference.
Of an absolute slugfest of a defensive struggle, 10-9 feels very different than 10-6.
So that's my point, though, is I was just like, I would have kicked the field goal. I would have just ran the ball straight ahead and then kicked the field goal. Got it down to like 3 seconds, called timeout, kicked the field goal. But I'm playing off of they were wanting to be aggressive. So if you're going to be aggressive smart.
Sure.
Whatever. The OU defensive line, let's talk about that. They were actually pretty good. I know that there was the Wisner got loose. Overall, I thought the defensive front played well. The problem is they let them slip in. A lot of times it wasn't the defensive line that was, it would be the linebacker coming through, run blitz or, gap, filling their gap, run fitting right, hitting Wisner in the backfield, not wrapping up. I think Robert Spears-Jennings had the worst game of his career.
And he knew it.
He tackled the worst I've ever seen him ever tackle. He is a surefire tackle.
He acknowledged it after the game.
Yes.
He acknowledged it.
And I even said on Twitter, I said, he is so good all the time. I've never seen him tackle so bad in my life. And therefore a bit, we didn't even see Robert Spears. They played Boganowski more than they played Robert Spears for a long time. I don't know if that was the reason why, if he's banged up. I don't know. I thought Boganowski played really well. In his time, I thought he played well. Did you not?
He did play well. It's hard to say anyone played really well today.
Well, I'm going first. He didn't play much in the second half. I'm talking first half.
It's one of those days where, even if there was promise shown from an individual performance, and there was a little of that, not much of it, but there was a little of that.
Yeah.
It's still, it still just feels like a black cloud. It still feels like an absolute sledgehammer to the knee for this Oklahoma football team, because they had the chance to be 6-0. They had the chance to be right there in the college football playoff conversation, which they still are, to be clear.
They could lose 2 more probably.
They may have gotten a first place vote or 2 if they win this game today. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Instead, man, you got to whip this thing back into shape in a hurry.
No.
Because the back half of the schedule, and we've talked about it for over a year now, the back half of the schedule, or whenever it was that the schedule was officially announced with dates, the back half of the schedule leaves you very little margin for error.
Yeah.
If John Mateer plays another game like he did today, Oklahoma's college football playoff hopes are virtually shot.
So obviously we're looking at this on the feelings and the emotions of what we just witnessed. But knowing that there's probably going to be still some excuse with voters that John Mateer, no matter if he says he's healthy or not, a lot of people aren't going to believe that. No, you and I don't believe that at all. Like, you don't believe he was 100%.
I think it was very clear his accuracy was compromised.
Yes. Okay.
And we talked about this on OUinsider.com throughout the week. The reality was that there was much less of a question as to whether John Mateer was going to be available, and much more of a question as to whether he was going to be effective.
Correct. Yes. And okay, so
he was always going to play. He was always going to play.
It was, yeah, without question.
From very early on in the week, I think we initially reported Tuesday morning, like, he's going. But there was some concern voiced in talking to sources midweek and later on in the week. He might not be himself. He might not be the John Mateer that we're all accustomed to seeing. And he wasn't himself today.
No.
He was far from it. And you saw that, I think, most specifically in the accuracy. There were some bad misses. And
he was like staring down guys, and then at the same time not moving his eyes to where they needed to be. And he acknowledged that, to his credit. Arbuckle acknowledged it, to his credit. They both said the same thing. I asked straight up, did Texas show you anything defensively that maybe you hadn't seen that surprised you? And they said, no, well, maybe to begin with, there were some surprises. They did things longer than and showed more than what they'd previously shown, a little bit longer. But they said as the game went on, it was nothing that they couldn't combat. So I guess my question is why didn't they combat it? And John just couldn't get out of his own way. And I think he was pressing. I think, like you called it hero ball, which is so what it is. I think he, in his mind, was like, I'm that teammate. I'm that tough guy. I'm the next Baker Mayfield. I'm this, I'm that. I'm going to come in and be the hero and save, and everybody's going to have me up on this Heisman. And I don't think he meant it in a selfish way. I think he fully believes that he's the one that can help the team win. I think that's where his head was at. But at the end of the day, I think it hindered him quite a bit offensively. And I'm not saying Hawkins would have been better because I don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's true.
Yeah.
Well, but I think given what we know now, should they might have tried to find that out? I don't know.
I think I think Oklahoma and the Oklahoma staff made the only decision that they could make.
Oh, well, like, yes.
If John Mateer wanted to play, you had to play John Mateer. You had to. And if this is how you lost, so be it.
Yeah.
What would have been inexcusable and would have been a far worse look with the fan base is if you'd started Michael Hawkins
and then brought him in later.
Well, if you bring John Mateer in, but ultimately, like, if you lose the game. If you lose the game, and frankly, I don't know that substituting Michael Hawkins for John Mateer gets Oklahoma a win today. Now, are they close? Is this a closer football game? Certainly, because I don't think Michael Hawkins throws 3 interceptions if he's out there. But man, you have a stud quarterback in John Mateer that you paid a bunch of money to in the offseason to come help turn this program around.
And he's been nothing but good so far.
And he's been phenomenal so far. Yeah. And he was considered a Heisman front runner until today. And you got to ride or die with that guy.
Yeah.
And so I think the Oklahoma staff played their hand the only way they could play it and then defend it after the fact. So, yes, in hindsight, there are many who will say Hawkins should have gotten the call. I think the Oklahoma staff did what they had to do and the only thing that they could do with the knowledge that John Mateer was physically well enough to go out there and perform.
Hey, Sooners fans. I know some of you guys are diehard OU basketball fans, football fans, recruiting gurus, all those. You recruiting it, you guys love it. OU Insider is a place for you. So whether you subscribe to this YouTube channel or whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on, make sure you give us 5 stars. Make sure you give us thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and like. Facebook, OU Insider Official. YouTube, right here at OU Insider, Instagram, OU Insider Official, and Twitter at OU Insider, or go to OUinsider.com. If you want to stay really in the know, go there, OUinsider.com. Make sure you sign up right now. You get OU Insider for $1 the first week. Then you get The Athletic as well, complimentary of OU Insider and On3 for a whole year. That is a 2-for-1 deal. Also, if you are a college student with a .edu email, if you're a teacher with a teacher's account email, whether you teach kindergarten all the way up to the senior, and I'm talking about when I go back to college, doesn't matter where you go to school. You can go to Timbuktu University. If you have a .edu email, if you are active duty teacher or a college student, send us an email, ouinsider@rivals.com. We will send you back a promo code to make sure you get OU Insider for $1 a month for the first 3 months. Again, that's $1 a month for the first 3 months. If you have a .edu, a teacher's email account, or an active duty, you email us, ouinsider@rivals.com. Join one of the fastest growing OU-centric sites on the internet, ouinsider.com, on 3 Network. We will see you there. In doing so, 2 things. How shot do we think the confidence is of this Oklahoma team? And did they just resuscitate Texas on the way out?
Oh, yeah, no question about it. I mean, you got to be over the moon if you're Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You got your mojo back. You got your swagger back. Arch Manning played pretty well. He did.
This is a South Carolina game last year, bro. Like, this is what it is to me. It's the South Carolina game last year. South Carolina essentially, Oklahoma revived their season. They came in 3-3. Killed OU. Texas came in 3-2. Killed OU. It's like the Undertaker gif where they're just like propping up out of the coffin, like, here they come. Like, dang it.
Man.
Keep dropping my phone.
Oklahoma's got to, and this is way easier said than done after playing a game like that, and especially in an environment like this one here at the Cotton Bowl. But you got to do everything in your power to flush that as fast as possible. Like, completely wipe it from your memory, because it's the only way you're going to keep this thing on track and get this thing back on track as you go to Columbia next weekend, do battle with South Carolina, and get ready for 5 straight ranked matchups to close the year. It's like, you have to flush this. This team has to leave this performance and this day behind here in Dallas. It cannot follow them.
On that, just knowing what we know about John Mateer, knowing what we know about Brent Venables, knowing what we know about Kip Lewis, our Mason Thomas, right? I think you look at the offensive line, you're like, well, that crap's probably not going to be fixed right now. And you got Dylan Stewart coming up next. God bless you, Michael Fasusi and Luke Beklinko, because that's probably who's going to be your tackles.
Derek Simmons, oh boy, you better hope he's not hurt long term.
Yeah,
because right now the only 2 healthy tackles on the entire roster are Fasusi and Beklinko. Daniel Akinkunmi played a snap. 1 snap, that was all it was. But he had to play a snap at left tackle in the 4th quarter because Michael Fasusi came out of the game. He had no idea what he was doing. Nor would I expect him to, Brandon.
No.
He has played guard for the entirety of his career at Oklahoma. For the year and a half, almost 2 years that he has been on campus, he has been practicing at guard, and he's barely seen the field there. It's only been in garbage time that he's gotten the chance to play. And all of a sudden, you're going into the Red River shootout to play a snap at a position that you haven't played in a game setting or in a practice setting even since you were in high school. With the NFL Academy in the UK. That's where Oklahoma's at right now with tackle depth. Fasusi better stay healthy. Beklinko better stay healthy. And you better hope Derek Simmons isn't laid up long term, because that situation could get real ugly for Oklahoma.
Howland comes back as well. You got to hope he comes back.
He's got a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, that thing could last for like 6 weeks. I get it, but I'm just saying, hope. You got to hope that Sexton, who we know is going to play at some point this season, maybe they can convince him to come back. I joked on the Rapid Reaction that if I'm him, I say, if you want me to come back and risk injury, pay up. You know, that's how I'm joking, but there's a little seriousness behind the joke. But as I was saying, like, what if this was, I'm just devil's advocate here. What if this was the type of game that Oklahoma needed to kind of get themselves back of not thinking they're not too hot for the britches? Because I think there was a little bit of Brenton thinking that in the way that he reacted after Kent State. But can you really get through to a team after they just won 44-0? That you guys should have won by more, coach. Man, shut up. Like, we just won 44-0. We could have done whatever we wanted, but we didn't. We didn't even play all of our players. Like, you see where I'm coming from? Like, there's a mental aspect of this that sometimes, and I'm looking back at 2015, similar thing happened. Like, Oklahoma just got their butts beat by Texas, right? It was closer, but they got owned by Texas. And they come out and they just win 40, what was it, 66-0 or something, like 55-0 against K-State the very next week. Like, at K-State, mind you.
Well, I think here's the thing, though. When you look at this game today, to me, it doesn't seem like Oklahoma was lackadaisical in preparation or, they got too high, too fast. I think it's just, man, it's as simple as they got outclassed and they got outcoached today. Outclassed and outcoached. They just got flat out beat. And it did not help that their starting quarterback, whose Heisman campaign died today,
it's dead.
Threw 3 interceptions.
It's not over, but it's not. It's going to be hard to win. It's going to. He has a schedule to make a comeback, though.
Maybe that's asking a lot.
It is asking a lot.
But John Mateer didn't play well.
Yeah.
But more so than that, Oklahoma just got outclassed and outcoached today by Texas.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the adjustments made by Texas for the second half was just a one-on-one on halftime preparation coming out of the locker room. Like, that's what it's about. I think that this team, speaking of Oklahoma, still can be a playoff team. I still think they have a chance to push and play for the SEC championship. That said, they got to figure out the offensive line. I don't think it happens unless the offensive line gets fixed. And at some point, I'm going to say it. I've been such a backer of Bill Bedenbaugh and everything that he's done for years. He has an amazing young core. Foje Fasusi, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think UK Dan's going to be really good at some point in his career. I think it's obviously this recruiting class that's coming in is pretty good. The 27 class is elite. However, when does it become he's not getting the same amount out of the players that he once got out of them? I think it's a fair question to ask.
It is a fair question to ask. Oklahoma can't run the ball. Why? Is it more on the running backs? Is it more on the offensive line? There's certainly fault that lies with both parties.
For sure.
Running backs haven't been good, with the exception of Torrey Blaylock. The offensive line has not been good. Which is stunning that we're here because they played so well against Michigan. They played so well against Michigan. They did everything in that Michigan game to make you feel like they had turned a corner and solved all of their issues. And here we are a month later, and once again, I will make the comparison. It looked like 2024.
Yes. I don't like it. And the injuries are compiling up like 2024. At some point, you have to look back at why does this keep happening to the offensive line? Why? What coach has had the worst luck possible in the way that BV has with his offensive line for 2 straight years? What is he doing?
And specifically with the offensive line, too, because the rest of the team is almost at full health right now. Like Jeremiah Newcomb. Yeah, Jeremiah Newcomb's hurt. Cade McIntyre's hurt. But like outside of a guy here, a guy there, it's the offensive line.
Mhm.
It's just the offensive line that's been bitten by the injury bug. Jake Taylor, Isaiah Autry-Dent, Jake Sexton, Logan Howland. And now you're in a position where, once again, it's Fasusi and it's Beklenko, and you are hoping that your fifth injured offensive tackle, Derek Simmons, can get right and get right quickly. Because right now what you have is two guys. Well, Fasusi began the season as the backup to Sexton.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he was a guy that had demonstrated a lot of promise in fall camp.
Yeah.
And he was somebody that some believed could and should be the starter over Sexton. That was a take that was workshopped by certain folks.
I think we're seeing that it was probably not the case. We're seeing that.
But Beklenko, man, he was listed as the third stringer.
Right.
Coming out of camp at right tackle. So, I mean, those are the guys. You have a true freshman on one side.
Mm-hmm.
You have a guy that started the year third string on the other. And those are the only fully healthy tackles you have right now. And is Fasusi fully healthy?
Those two got absolutely abused at the last 5 minutes of the game. I mean, absolutely. Between Burke and Colin Simmons, they just said they're the daddies of defensive ends. Too.
And their lives got a lot easier because I think they understood at that point after the Niblett punt return, okay, you have to throw on every single snap.
For sure, but like
just pin your ears back. And
mm-hmm. Yeah, that was rough. It was hard. There's so much that like we could sit here and just dissect about every little detail of this football game because I think the lack of tight end usage today was awful, just awful.
And Darren Kanik didn't catch a pass until Oklahoma's final offensive drive.
He was open several times. I don't know what, like, that's the point. John Mateer played so bad that he was not doing what he always used to do. He wasn't taking it easy. You called it hero. Like, that's what it was. Like, he was trying to take those mid-range shots that were going to be chunk plays at every given chance. He wasn't going to throw the deep ball, and I think Texas knew that. I think the way they covered, I think they knew that. They said, cool, we're going to bait you into making some really stupid decisions, and they did. They baited him. He almost threw that pick on the out route, and Satania comes in and sits on a dig. I believe it was Jermichael Carter running a quick out. And that safety comes underneath. It was cover 3, bro. Like, the middle seam, the second level middle seams would open a little bit. He came and set right there, the hook zone, right? Wide open, the way it's supposed to be. I saw it was cover 3. Jermichael Carter saw it was cover 3. Safety straight out into the flat, almost picked it off. And I mean, Mateer turns and looks and just stares it down and throws it. Not only does he throw it, he's late. Mm-hmm. He was late so often today. Confidence. And again, that goes back to the injury. It goes back to the injury. Not an excuse, it's a fact. But at the end of the day, that's what cost them. Like all of what we talked about. No run game. Mateer's lack of having confidence in who he really is, right? He wasn't even running hard. Like he was running hard, but like he used to. He would try to truck people, right?
He individually has to shake back next week. Has to. Otherwise, this season could go down the tubes in a hurry.
For sure.
I mean, we've seen enough from John Mateer to know he doesn't suck. Like this performance today is not indicative of the type of football he's capable of playing and has played for Oklahoma. But man, it's hard to unpack his performance today and find much of anything good. And I did not imagine we were going to be sitting here having this conversation after the Red River shootout.
My biggest question to you is this. And this is, I'm sorry, OU fans, I got to ask this question because it's a question that needs asked. As much as we were talking about they're 5-0, they have a chance to just right the ship. Maybe they're 11-1, 10-2 at the end of the season. After what we just witnessed and what we know of the offensive line right now. If they lose next week, if they lose at home against Ole Miss, Is there going to start being a rallying cry of something needs done quickly? You know where I'm going with this, right?
I do.
It's a conversation that has to be had now.
Yes.
Because of what we just witnessed.
I would say, not to cop out, but
Because it's the Tennessee after that.
Let's cross that bridge when we get there. Like, there's a very real world, Brandon, in which
you're 5-4.
Things kind of spiral out of control here down the stretch with how difficult that schedule is and how difficult the opponents that you're going to face are. And also, man, Brent Venables is 1-3 against Texas. The Gary Gibbs comparisons are going to be thrown out.
So he got.
They are going to be thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be inescapable.
This game was so bad. Like, I'm frustrated talking about it. See, now y'all know, like, everybody says that we don't care. Like, we care. Like, we care.
Well, and again,
we care.
I think what makes it particularly jarring is that it's hard to explain why. It's hard to understand why. It's hard to understand how Oklahoma just came out here at the Cotton Bowl and laid an egg. You knew why in 2022. You knew why in 2024. Struggling to find the reasons.
They have
in 2025.
They have to start paying big bucks for offensive linemen the way they do for defensive linemen. They have to. I know they have been Foje, Fasusi, Hackett, right? Obviously, Caden Penny, but I'm trying to think of 2026 offensive linemen off the top of my head.
Deacon Schmidt, no
Deacon
best.
Schmidt, no best, yeah. But there's only two. They got it. And they're looking to flip some guys, but they've got to go, and then they got to go in the portal and probably grab a really expensive lineman too. Like, if you really want to be elite, they got to pay up on the offensive line the way they pay up on defensive front. That defensive front is badass because it's multi-million-dollar defensive front.
Well, you're gonna have to replace the right side of your line next year, one way or the other. Wee Woo graduates, Derek Simmons graduates. It's going to be at least two vacancies there.
Well, Foje, I would assume Foje, and probably, I mean, maybe Sexton's your right tackle next year.
Okay, well, let me ask you this though. Then, you said they need to go out and spend big bucks on a portal offensive lineman. Where are you putting that portal offensive lineman? What position are you pursuing in the portal?
We didn't talk about left guard.
Has Heath Zaida been bad though?
No, but I mean, but you can move Heath Zaida to right guard. You can, I guess, Ryan Foje at right guard, Zaida left guard.
If you're spending big money for a portal O lineman, it's almost assuredly going to be a tackle.
Correct. So you probably want to go right tackle. Because you're not going to move Fasusi from left to right. So you're going to go get a right tackle, and you're probably going to have to pay upwards of $750 to $1 million, $750,000 to $1 million to get it. You have to. That's the way it goes. Going to be doing a lot of ad reads on Sooner Sports Radio to make that work. I don't know. I got nothing, man. It's just so bad right now. Like, the offensive line is so bad. It has to be fixed.
And John Mateer's got to play better.
And he has to play better.
If you walk away from this game with two overarching takeaways, well, three. It's that, one, Steve Sarkisian has demonstrated a propensity to outcoach Brent Venables in this football game.
Yeah, he's Bob Stoops. Venables is Mac Brown right now.
Two, John Mateer absolutely has to play better.
Mm-hmm.
And three, you got to figure it out up front.
And four, you better learn how to freaking tackle again.
I'm genuinely
You're not worried about that?
No, I mean, when you really think about it, even though they did get it taken to them in the third quarter, Oklahoma's defense only allowed one offensive touchdown today.
No, they
played well enough. They did not play well. They did not play up to their standard. They played well enough
to win.
Mm-hmm. They
I
did
agree with that. But the standard's so high for the defense, though. Mm-hmm. That's the thing.
They actually genuinely played well enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the third quarter was brutal, they played well enough to win, and they got no help from the offense. and the special teams touchdown was what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to do it, man. Folks, I know it's bad right now, but still 5-1.
5-1 is 5-1.
And Oklahoma is
here. Last point here,
no,
I
go
promise.
for it. Yeah,
all this team's goals are still out there in front of them.
they are.
Which is why I said you have to do everything in your power.
Get your mojo back
within the next 36 hours. I don't know what whether it's a team meeting or some sort of ritual. You have to make absolutely certain this loss is completely forgotten in that building by Monday.
The good news is they have a quarterback that's tough as nails, that
Yes.
they can rally behind, right? That they feel can still win. I'm just going to say this. Satania even said it. He goes, "We know John's not going to play like this ever again."
And if that's the case, Oklahoma is still going to be a force in the SEC the rest of the way. But you have to flush this performance. It is never, like, in the entire Brent Venables era, to me, it has never been more crucial that your team completely flush a performance.
They played good against, I remember they played good against Kansas in 2022 after 19th ranked Kansas, by the way, right after they lost to Texas 49-0. Of course, Dylan Gabriel didn't play. He came back that 2023, they won, but they played awful against UCF. Last year, who did they play after Texas? South Carolina, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
And that was just bad. So hopefully they do not repeat that. That's the hope. But as Parker said, yeah, they got to flush it. I think they will. I think they'll flush it. I think they'll play better. I don't know that I believe that. And it's obviously my emotion right now that I believe Oklahoma can go to Columbia and win. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to stir on that for a little bit. But be that as it may, they're still 5-1. They still have everything out in front of them, and they're recruiting well. That means they're going to be able to fix some things. I know they can't help you this year, but they're recruiting at an elite level right now, getting a lot of really good talent in 26 and 27. Just landed another really big time linebacker, right? 4-star linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, been a really, really fun week or fun month as far as recruiting coverage goes. Parker and I got you covered on that. We've been out and about all over the place, going and seeing players, getting information. That's always up there on OU Insider VIP. We have team notes coming up. We will have you up to date on everything when it comes to Derek Simmons, when it comes to Logan Howland, when it comes to Xavier Robinson and his availability. Gosh, I hope he didn't break his collarbone or dislocate his shoulder really bad. That looked really bad. The way he was holding right here, that's what worried me, because he was holding right there. So just hope that he's okay. But we'll have all that coverage for you. We'll have how the practices went. We'll have all those updates on OU Insider VIP. All you have to do is go over to ouinsider.com. Get to sign up right now for $1 the first week. And then we give you The Athletic as well for a whole year. The Athletic for a whole year, right? Complimentary on OU Insider and on 3. Or you can go over to ouinsider.com and just sign up with us one way or the other and do month to month. But you get to cancel anytime you want to. It's a great community. It's fun. It's awesome. If you're a college student with a .edu email, doesn't matter what college you go to. You can go to University of Texas for all we care. If you're a teacher teaching K through 12 and you have a teacher's email, if you're active duty military, all 4 branches, please, please, please email us ouinsider@rivals.com. We will send you a promo code to get you OU Insider for $1 a month for 3 months. And then obviously subscribe to this YouTube, whatever podcasting platform. 5 stars, thumbs up, likes. Thank you guys so much for watching this podcast.
Let me pump some sunshine here before we get out. I still think this team is capable of winning the SEC. This football game did not change my opinion as to this football team's ceiling. This was the floor.
Yeah.
This was the absolute floor. Did not change my opinion of Oklahoma's ceiling as a football team. I think they can still win the SEC. However, Brandon, I will know. We all will know whether Oklahoma is still capable of that next week in Columbia when we see how they digest this performance the lessons they take from it, the cues that they take from it, and how they come out next week in a difficult road environment and respond against a really talented SEC opponent.
Luckily, an 11 a.m. kick, so you're not going to get the night version of South Carolina. So that's pretty good.
I think this team can still contend in the SEC. I will know, and I think we all will know 1 week from today.
Totally agree with that statement. I wholeheartedly believe that next weekend is going to be a slobber knocker defensive, because I think OU will have something for the Norris Sellers. Just like they did last year. They only gave up 8 points, by the way, on offense, totality. And then obviously the interceptions and fumbles were the biggest issue in that game. All right, that's going to do it for this version of the OU Insider Under the Visor Sooners post-game podcast powered by Riverwind Casino. Oklahoma loses to their arch rival, Texas, 23-6, in what can be known as another blunder in the Cotton Bowl by Oklahoma over the last 3 or 4 years. But be that as it may, we've got you covered on OUinsider.com. That's Parker Thune. My name is Brandon Drumm. You guys have a blessed day. We will see you guys here later on this week.